There is a beautiful synagogue, Jewish synagogue. One of the most beautiful I've ever seen in the entire planet. And I've seen beautiful synagogues actually. The last one I saw was in Oradea, west of Romania. But this one is really from another planet. And what day are we today? Saturday. Isn't it Shabbat for Jewish people? Yes, that's why it's closed. I can't get in. But I can at least enjoy the beauty. Look at the facade with that right in there. My failed attempt to learn about the Jewish history in Europe. The crazy part is like it's not typical West European architecture with those two domes there at the top. Almost like Moorish architecture actually. European Heritage Label, titulaire du label du patrimoine européen. So, this is a big deal. Well, since we can't go in, let's stroll the Jewish district because that's where I am now actually. Here it is. Here was the house where Theodor Herzl was born. This is the founder of Zionism. Zionism? Not sure how we pronounce it. But yeah, he was born in 1860 and he died in 1904. Yeah, I think also they discovered a lot of bodies during 1945 because you see all these names here. All of them died in 1945. Wow, names all over the place actually. So these are the bodies that were discovered at the end of the Second World War. And probably the names you see there, all those people who died, you see. I mean, their exact death date maybe is not known, but in 1945 that's how their graves are identified actually. Well, now that I can take you with me to learn more about the Jewish history here in Budapest, I'm gonna take you with me to see something more nerdy. It's called the Electrotechnical Museum. It's like the power system museum, and we should see stuff from Nikola Tesla and stuff about the power transformer because the Hungarians, they were the first to to create a working power transformer. Of course, the British worked a lot on electromagnetism, but the Hungarians and the company Gans factory in 1865, something like this, they created the first working power transformer, which represents today probably 99% of any electric application. Like, it's almost everywhere. So, oh, there is a massive other synagogue here. That one there. See, it's written in Hebrew, the facade. Here is our Electrotechnical Museum. Let's get into it. I am in my candy shop. Look at this. How they use to measure the voltage. Which year is that one? Is from Berlin? Which year is it? I don't know. This is to measure the current. Wow. Look at these there with the circuit breakers. Even the design looks like a coil of transformer. Here is Budapest. Brown Bovary, sorry. So this is for a transformer. You see, like, you can plug it from here. Let's say this is the power in and this is the power out, so that your two cables will be here, and this could be a transformer actually. So what do we have here? See, these are two motors. Let's get closer to them. So these are two motors, one here and one there, and they are coupled mechanically with that red thing there. and usually use this like for what you call back-to-back applications. So for example, imagine one is motor, one will be supplied by electricity, and the other one will produce electricity, for example. Oh, look at this beauty. See, that's what I love about Budapest. Like, you find also this like in Munich, they keep those authentic old piece of science and engineering, and you keep them in beautiful museums. Say to yourself that this, because it requires a huge accuracy to make these things work, especially like this one, the rotating, like the motors, and they did it in the 1800s. Do you feel the excitement in the museum? There's no one. Now, if you go to the Fisherman Bastion, you see all the pretty influencers there, the Instagram. Why nobody want to get interested into science? Seriously. Why nobody want to see the origin of the lamps? Look how beautiful they are. And the lady was very nice. She gave me like some information about the place. And they didn't need to print too many. Just two is enough. Here are the lights, look. These are the first ones. I guess these are not electric. I guess here, yeah, it helps very much to understand this beautiful Hungarian language. If you understand only one word, okay, DM me on Instagram. The thing is, in the mid 1800s, like the highs of the Industrial Revolution, the end of the first Industrial Revolution, beginning of the second one, the Hungarians here in Budapest, they invented a lot of things, like for lights, for railways. I'm telling you, the power transformer, which until today is used in probably 99% of any electric thing you see around you, was invented here in Budapest. So they did huge things. And part of what I read is that part of these things you see here, these lamps, some of them are the original ones. Yeah, you see, like for example this one. So they found them in the original factories, and they exhibit them here. Here is a collection of lamps. Like, it may seem like some basic thing, but for them at that time, like light, like a lot of people thought light was some magic witchcraft. Like, mastering the art of building lamps was a big deal, and the Hungarians did a lot of it. Alright, now we're talking more serious. Alright, Hungarians, you know how to play with lamps, now show us some real use. So you see the original lamps in the street. This is one of them actually. And you see that's the electric, I would say consumption counter, or yeah, meter, electric meter simply. Vandalism, something like this. That's the emblem of the city. This is also a big deal for that time, like big lamps to lighten the buildings and the monuments. They didn't have things like this, like a way of directing light from far to a place. This is for some more funky applications. Advertisement. This is also, I understand, it's a big deal for the time. I mean, everything here was a big deal for the time. And also the other thing, like, we say light or lightning, and that's it, like as if there is only one type of light. At that time, like, you have the lights for, the factories, for your homes, for the streets, for the exhibitions, for the advertisement. Like, it's like a massive improvement, I would say a massive change in people's lives during the 1800s. It's crazy. And once you wanna lighten your cities, you need a lot of components. You need lamps, you need the meters, the cables, the transformers, the protection circuits, all the stuff related to the storm and things like that. Yeah, it's just a massive, I would say, inventions that the Hungarians did. Now we are talking. This is some electromagnetism mixed with some basic electricity. It gives us a motor called repulsion motor. This was used like in the elevators because it could rotate both directions. It was very interesting to lift up and down the elevator. This one is another electric motor. You could see here 1400 RPM Magyar. This was definitely invented in Budapest. And this is an interesting invention. Actually, it can convert DC to AC actually. See a transformer here. And this is I guess the rotating part with the brushes. And here you have the drawing actually. Yeah, so this is the transformer. It was invented by DBZ, so Derry, Blathy, Zipernowski in 1885. These are the three guys. This is the basic equation of any transformer. This is more sophisticated, so you're home now. You see, this is like I guess a middle class or maybe rich family. You see like the vacuums there. They start to get electric. This one, see with the electric cable. This is the bell ring. So they started at the time, like, you know, like to say, oh, all right, now we know this thing called electricity that can make some magic stuff, make things move without pushing them. How can we use them like in our daily lives? This is the kitchen. You can imagine they will convert all the things that were used to work with thermal heating, like, you know, like warming a cooking pan or things like that. The iron, the invention of the iron. So all this stuff, they start electrifying them. And then here is a more sophisticated, you see this one I guess it's the end of the 18th, this is the start of the 20th century. This is the mid of the 20th century, you see? Like this looks more like a vintage cuisine in our time. Oh, look at the ancestor of the fridge. This one, you see this is a fridge, and you see that thing that you see on the top, that's the motor. That's actually the motor with the belt that will rotate the compressor, because you need a compressor in the fridge. Here are some heatings to heat water. What do we have here? See the appearance of the hair dryers. Look at them, the old ones. God, everything was very metallic, so this is super safe when you are taking, you know, you just finish your shower and you want to dry your hair. Yeah, it's crazy like how technology evolved. Oh, this is technology. See, this is progress. People, I mean mainly women at the time, who do not need to clean their clothes, which I guess until today is still a luxury for a lot of people. Not everyone can afford the washing machine, including me 10 years ago when I was still a student. So I think these are the lamps with the gas inside, and the gas will create, like they will lighten if they are exposed to a magnetic field. So maybe that's why there is this coil below here to create the magnetic field so that the lamp can turn on. Oh, Nikola Tesla is here. One of the first transformers. Beautiful. See, you have one side of the transformer. You give it one voltage and it transforms it to another one. Wow. Now we are talking. Now we are talking. Hold on, what is this? It looks like a motor. A load motor. A slow one. Because you see it's thin and fat. It's not like, I mean, how to say, it's short and big like this. That one there, you see it's on the same. That one I don't know. It's another motor I guess. But what is this? What's the use for it? Let's try to read Hungarian. No, I abandoned already. But I think it was used for railway because I see trains all over the place here. And there is even a path there. You see Győr, which is another city in Hungary, until Budapest. So maybe it's a railway. And here it is, you see the drawing? Let's zoom on it. 20 kilovolts, you have even a level 15, 20, and then you have the transformer drawing on the side that takes you up to 132 kilovolts. Oh, now we're talking. The guns factory, the famous guns factory. and the first guys to invent a transformer. These is the guys, they call them the BDZ, Blathy, Derry, and Zipernovsky. These are the three guys who invented the first working transformer. Now, of course, the British did a lot when it comes to electromagnetism, whether it's Faraday, Maxwell, but the first who said, all right, we have a transformer, we know the use of it, and I think it looked like this. You see this one? It looks like this one here. It's crazy how the shape has evolved. Yeah, same that one. One side, you give it a voltage, the other side, it will transform the voltage that you could use it to supply, let's say, a lamp, because here you are coming with a very high voltage, and then you lower it, and then you send it to a lamp that requests, I don't know, maybe 200 volt. See, 1885, guys. These were the pioneers of our modern technology. Other transformers from guns. You see, the guns factory existed until 2020 actually, and probably COVID ended the legacy of this beautiful company. Because they had originally, in case you don't know, the guns factory, Mr. Guns, he started doing like steel work. It's like, you know, the Carnegie of the US, so he was doing the same thing. Like, he produced the massive, he invented a lot of things in the steel techniques, but then he created a branch. He hired a guy and created the branch, which is the electric branch. For them at the time, it's like if today you have a business and then you say, you know what, let's invest some money into some new technologies, things that might work or might never work. So he says, okay, let's investigate that thing called electricity, and they ended up inventing the first transformer. I love countries that preserve their heritage, and even though it may seem old, it's important to know, where you come from and what your ancestors have invented. Well, don't tell me that these are original birds. I hope not. But yeah, another big thing in our society's developments until today, actually, it's a lot of countries, even in the US, where you see cables hanging like these, and that are not very safe during the winter and storms. You are wondering what are these. So you see these switches are open. So this, for example, will help you isolate a section of your electric grid in your country. Here we are talking about 30,000 volt, you see, 30 kV, which is not the highest actually. It could go up to 400 kV. But these are elements you'll see in your substations coming near your cities. You find them a lot at the entrance of the cities, because that's where we want to scale down, step down the electricity. The electricity travels at 400,000 volt, for example, AC, but you don't want to have that level of voltage within a city, so you want to lower it down to maybe 12 kV, and then once you get closer to houses, to something closer to 400 volt, for example. So that, you see how electricity is produced? Crazy. Here it is, produces electricity. You go to a demonstration. Wow, I love it. Oh, it's like electrostatic electricity. Thank you very much. Thanks. I've never seen a museum like this. Thank you very much. Thanks. Bye. Bye. Like literally, the lady was dedicated just to me. Like she was showing me like place by place and every single thing. Can I play this for you? Can I play that for you? Think of it, a museum with one person from the museum dedicated to you. You don't get this anywhere else in the world. Now that we got ourselves our nerdy dose, I suggest we go to the top of the hill. You know which hill I'm talking about. Follow me. welcome to the Fisherman's Bastion. Because why people come here? Well, not only for the oars, but there is something magical that I want to show you from this place. Look at this. Dun, dun, dun. Here it is, your view. It's the Hungarian Parliament and the Danube River, actually. And this is the Fisherman Bastion. Like, okay, regardless when you come to Budapest, during the end of the afternoon, beginning of sunset, you have to come here. Don't come during the morning, afternoon, end of the afternoon, beginning of the sunset. It will remind you of Montmartre with the energy of the people here. Beautiful, pretty influencers all over the place. All right, this is a Catholic church. Beautiful one of the most beautiful I've seen in East of Europe. Unfortunately, it's not that sunny, but I swear I came yesterday, it was sunny. That roof that you see there gives you another magic with the sunset here. You see, I'm gonna show you. If you go to my Instagram account, you look at the pictures from Budapest. This one, I got it during the sunset. Please, you don't have to subscribe to my Instagram if you don't want to follow it, sorry. But just look at the picture of this beautiful place. No, I was kidding, you have to follow my Instagram account. Hey, it's free. Also, another thing. So this is Buda. I didn't tell you, we crossed the Danube River. Now we are in the Buda side. It's a total world, like almost a different city. This is more like the medieval. You see, this is the medieval part of Budapest. Even the house is like 1, 2, 3 floors max. This is like your medieval vibes, and the other side, which is Pest, you know, on the other side of the river, that is more, let's say, most of it was built during the 1800, 1900, you know, beautiful Bauhaus architecture. But yeah, you don't get those pretty calm, cozy medieval vibes that you get here. Look at this. Reminds me a lot of Zagreb, Croatia, with this old town. I mean, Zagreb was a royal free city from the Hungarian kingdom. I made a full vlog about Zagreb. You will find it here actually. And I saw there is, how do you call it, confectionery? Something that makes chocolate and candies, because I have worked out so hard this morning. They killed us in the CrossFit. I don't even know how many burpees, how many wall balls. So let's go get some, you know, let's say we don't care about money. We want to get the best from the Buda side. Some beautiful cafe. Now it's like 5 p.m. The sunset is starting, and we want to get some warm tea with maybe some little sweet. We'll see. Follow me, my friends, exploring the Buda part of Budapest. Cable car. I don't know how to think of it. At least I have a nice view. Yeah, the wooden cable car works. What do you think? I told you they invented a lot in railway. Let's go walk near the Danube River, along the Danube River, and I think there is some pretty good cafe, because they promised you a cafe in, you know, the Austro-Hungarian manner, you know, those beautiful tea salons. Here we go. That's what I'm talking about. Let's get closer. What the heck are these? See, that's what I love about Budapest. Like every part of the city is something unexpected, unusual. Anyway, let's go to the Pest side. I told you most of the things are already closing on Buda. Buda is more once you are done dating, you know, you want to marry, have a loan, buy a house, you come here to Buda, so it's more calm. So even the shops, they close quite early. Like beautiful cafes closing at 5:30. So okay, here is something else for your eyes. Beautiful, beautiful. The cutest, prettiest mean of transport you have ever seen. Here it is. If this doesn't make you fall in love with Budapest, I don't know what else does, to be honest. Let's go get some majestic, let's call it tea break. Austro-Hungarian tea break if you want. This is what I'm talking about. This is the beauty I'm talking about. Look at how everything is perfect. Look at this, it's called the Barkert Bistro.
Something feels missing, something's not right. I had it all written, but the ink never dried. Throw out the page, what do I say?